Alright everybody, welcome to today's video. As you can see, we are in the new crib, but that's not what today's video is about. We're gonna be just a little hour-long market review covering all types of education, answering your guys' questions in the Discord, and everything of the sort. So let's hop straight into the video and quit yapping. Alex, we're locked in, brother. I know bro, a lot of y'all are at the point where y'all are locked in on the chart. You know what you're looking for. Even this Tuesday low of the week, y'all have got the weekly profile in your head. It's just really hard to catch intraday. And then even right here, if we zoom in a little bit, right, we purge this low, purge the high, and then we come right back down. I mean, this is, this one little wick here, this whole candle, that's tragic. Yeah, bro, and we're gonna lock so hard in on psychology because on my break and the time I've had to think, that's one thing that I've really been, trying to lock in on. And when I come back, it's just, I wanted to be stone cold because that's a lot to do with live trading, right? If I'm hopping on the chart live trading and I'm getting a little emotional, obviously, I don't need to be even on the chart. I need to get off and obviously I want to live trade. Obviously I can, so. There's no point in ever being emotional, and that's something that we're gonna lock into, y'all. Cause I know one motherfucker in here. Oh no, I thought that was Yurik for a second, but nah. Yurik is emotional. I saw Yokai, but thought it was Yurik. And I'll say that because I mean, obviously he's made a lot, but he's still emotional. Me want to be less emotional. I mean, that's one thing that everybody can focus on. That's one thing that everybody can, get better from. Uh, but anyway, like I said, let's quit yapping. We're going to talk about this Tuesday low of week and then in continuing. So for, the idea of it, obviously on the weekly and daily chart, it's not the best looking, not the most beautiful. King, shut up. We do have this purge of the low, but what I told you guys to check out literally the week before was that SMT on the internal low. And like I was telling you guys, I think Mark left, but yeah, Burgess came in to flex that he was in longs. But either way, right, we have this internal SMT, and not that every internal low. Obviously, we have our prominent low here, and then the two lows. That's our internal lows of, the protected low, because we have the idea, right, that swept out, create a new higher high. So we should have, some type of range, right, with those internal lows. That SMT there, that's always played a key part, and especially with such a difference, the obvious SMTs, like I like to use, or like I used to tell you guys, it's the same shit, right? Nothing's changed. It's that big obvious SMTs, and on different time frames as well. I didn't get to check the monthly, but one thing we could check, and we will see, where do we have an SMT at, right? Not previous month low. Actually, I'm retarded. I thought, did we not dip? All right, well, anyway, that's on me. But either way, right, we're always checking different time frames. Yeah, be wrong right there. But either way, we're always checking different time frames. If we have a monthly, I mean, that adds even more confluence into it, right? Because we're on a daily. We see how it plays out. And you guys know I love playing inside of these wicks. What do? Don't close 50% and use it as a rejection block. So then we can just use our different time frames to, kind of form a narrative how we're going to continue. But like I told you guys, that one day, playing with Diggs, bro, you're a freak. Anyway, this one day was hard. I'm not gonna lie. But if you look at the day in a whole, right, when we come back 8, 9 a.m., accumulate, manipulate, distribute, and you shouldn't even be on the charts at 4. That's an earnings play. Like you shouldn't even be on the charts. And one thing that we know from earnings is that it's not always gonna, act appropriately or even slap a high time frame PDA array, right? If we have our manipulation damage done, like we were telling you guys at that low, with that low of week there, then it's going to continue to play out, and that's where we found ourselves. Was inside of that wick. And then also, I know I'm saying Tuesday low of week, but you guys may look at the chart and say, oh, it's Monday at 8 p.m. Obviously, you guys know that's fucking Tuesday's trading day. All-time season earning was free money. Yeah, I don't like trading earnings. It always, I mean, like Nvidia earnings is cool. Like I remember one time it was like super free. But I didn't even see that play out low time frame. Uh, mm, well, either way. But yeah, and I wasn't able to trade much intraday this week, as I was telling you guys. Obviously, we've got a lot going on outside of the chart, so I'm not gonna I'm just gonna preserve capital there. And as you can see, I mean, this is like the most plain and simple, like MMXM, that we see, right? SMT, form the reversal, lower low. And as we tell you guys, it's either going to reverse one way. It's going to reverse like this, or we're going to have our big downward candle. It's going to come one more time for your double tap, right? That's your double tap there. Double tap into our high time frame PD array. And even here, right, we sweep, form a rejection block, and now look what we have. Triple equal highs, low resistance, and we're just banging that out. It's almost the same thing that's happening right here. We're mimicking it in the low time frame, continuing to our buy model. I mean, this is one thing that I like to try and tell you guys, but it's really hard for a lot of people to see. I'm always telling you guys high time frame into low time frame, and that Tuesday low of week was exactly where we found almost price mimicking, and then continuing. Obviously Friday, I see Friday we had a good short. We had some people catch that, so I want to cover that a little bit because even though the manipulation damage is done right here, we still are building up liquidity below the lows. So it's not not 100% that the fair value gaps in the lower time frame below are going to be breakaway gaps, but it has a good likelihood during this moment, during this week, and then continuing into next week. You kind of have a different plan whether we might want to sweep these lows or we continue higher from here. Mark, I see the long you took. Obviously this is where we're at right now. I don't know, not the most beautiful in the world, but it's also not the worst in the world. Because even here, right, same thing. We're just accumulating liquidity to then sweep and then blast higher. Right, accumulating, manipulating, and distributing. Also, same thing here with that Tuesday low of week on a not on a correlated asset, but at a different time, right? 3 a.m. accumulate inside of our range. This is I know you guys don't like CRT, but it's pretty much turtle soup. It's the same shit. I don't call it that. I mean, you guys know the deal. Like, it's not whatever you want to call it. CRT, whatever, blah blah blah. Big downward candle, accumulate. What time do we manipulate? 3 a.m. Oh my god. We look at the 4-hour candles. Ranged form, accumulated, manipulated, distortion, distributed. Why is this distortion? Because we're accumulating but not needing to take the liquidity below the lows. Boom, we distribute. Almost see the exact same thing here, right? We build up liquidity, build up equal lows. Why is this sweep not enough? Well, not big enough black candles. We're not manipulating into our fair value gap, our key level, aggressively. That's what we always want to see, is aggressive manipulation into aggressive buying, right? Another one of those very simple, accumulating, manipulating, big black candles. And then even here, right, we get a rejection block with this wick. And then it's really reactive, low time frame order block, boom, we're blasting higher. And I don't want you guys to get I guess per se stuck on looking at what was I gonna say? I don't want you guys to get stuck staring at bullish price action. So we're gonna go look at this Friday short. Let's see. I know I keep saying Mark, but Mark he takes advantage of texting me. And that's obviously that's why I'm hopping on here. All the lifetime members, make sure you take the advantage of that. Please stay locked in. I know I took a little time period off, but it's not like I was not locked on the charts. Obviously, we're fucking locked in general, always on trading, but just need that mental break from that shit. All right, so here, previous day low short. If you guys couldn't see this one, I don't want to say you're silly, but it was pretty obvious, right, to the downside. We're accumulating. Well, we have an idea that we maybe could manipulate. This, we want it to be distribution higher, but right, we're not getting that follow through. We're not getting that volatility with candle closures with obvious displacement. Right, what does it look like with obvious displacement? Well, here you have it. You have your key lows swept. obvious displacement, followed by reaccumulation, manipulation, distribution. And why is, even though we don't distribute the highs, how do we know that it's going to follow through? Well, the buildup of liquidity into another remanipulation at a key time, following our protected low, following order flow, and then continuing higher. That could be a little bit cleaner, but even here is still really clean. I just would like, a cleaner like order block. Because if we look at like the 30-minute, right, where's our order block? It's right there. Yeah, the low stays protected, like we were talking about these internal lows, but it could be like that's like squeaking it out. We get some that are close to those equal lows, but with the main idea, this low being protected, anywhere inside of here, you should be able to find an entry. King, of course. I don't even think you trade ICT, so most of the time, I just take it as you're in here to hear my voice. You're a true king. All right. LOL. But yeah, either way. Oh yeah, back into the short. Right, so we didn't get that follow through that we were looking for. Let's go delete that. So now we have a couple things to look at. Higher time frame, weekly, daily. Is there a good key level? Like, what does it look like? Why are we not following through to the upside? Right, we have a daily. You can call it multiple things. Could be a daily breaker. Right, daily order block. Right, what we have is that higher high into a lower low. Right, breaking these lows. Fair value gap here. Right, we're almost stuck between a rock and a hard place. We're stuck between trusting this internal SMT, pushing us higher, soup, internal soup there, external. But now we've got that brick wall there, right? Displacement, FEG here, bearish, higher high, lower low, bearish. Almost stuck between a rock and a hard place. So don't fucking kill yourself this week. Like we said, we didn't get that follow through. We ran into a bearish PD array and we saw how it treated us on Friday. But why do I have the chart stopped here? This isn't how Friday ended. Well, it's because we have that obvious low. If you weren't able to catch in here, that's fine. Just play price bid forward. Oh, god damn it. Fuck, whatever. I wanted to be able to show that, but I went too many. All right, whatever. Either way, right? I'm not able to catch this. So what do? We just wait. We break down lower. And this doesn't look like a turtle soup manipulation lower because we're displacing past old previous up closure candles and using the wick. If we go to a lower time frame, even lower, right? We're almost using that to continue lower, right? We're not there. The follow through on the downsides here, right? Complete opposite of what we're looking for on the upside, and obviously I can see this as you guys. It's like, okay, that's low resistance. Well, there's no real beautiful order block on the hourly, on the 30-minute. So what key level are you guys trying to form a soup off of in here? We're also in a premium. And I get, different ranges, different protected ranges being in a different premium. But even this low and using this range here, it's not the best. Because of, it's not the best. I don't want to say because of how this formed, right? Because this could be beautiful to long. I see I see that. Asian highs untouched, midnight open right there. King, you come here and troll. It's so funny sometimes. But we obviously see that could be a good long. We see the low time frame market structure, building up. But right with that almost high time frame range that we accumulated inside of, manipulated, and now looks like we're coming back inside of the range. Well, we look at our daily candle opens and closures. Oof, wickless daily, internal. And what do we get? Almost a double tap of a PDO ring, triple tap, whatever. One tap, two tap, and almost the last leg of the fence that I'm going to trust if this is going to act bearish. I mean, you guys have seen single taps where we have it and we just fly. You guys have seen double taps. And I always tell you guys, the triple taps, like, that's not like something I'm going to be like, like mouth watering over, right? Quick manipulation into, an obvious PD array. Even here, the same thing that I'm showing you bearish happened bullishly right here, where we lower low, higher high, displaced, and closed, right? Higher high, lower low, displaced, and closed. But it failed here, right? Almost stuck between this rock in a hard place and this rock in a hard place. And then, we do it again, but on a higher time frame, right? Rock in a hard place. So you can't, I mean, bro, don't kill yourself in the accumulation this week. I get how some weeks are a continuation week of the previous week, right? If we had a Friday close that makes sense, well, this Tuesday low of week into continuing for this Monday to week, for this Monday and Tuesday and just this week in general to be bullish, I could see, you form that like maybe Thursday, but when Friday comes in and it opens like this and closes at the same time, obviously I know the daily closes at the end, but even into the hourly, right? When are we reaccumulating? Well, 5. Oh, look at that new 4-hour candle open. We open high, low, and then close and continue. And, you guys, I haven't even said nothing about it, but you guys should be screaming it, right? Easy sell side model. I mean, however you want to form it, bro. Like, some people worry too much about where they're putting their boxes, right? All you need to see is, I see we're continuing here, but we're accumulating liquidity to the low, and all you need to know is the difference between, right, when and why we kind of leave this liquidity behind, and when and why we go attack it. In this sense of a, move down here, this Tuesday low week, I would love to see this. These are the trades I love to be in, right? We got a clean buy model, clean rejection block. We're even souping out this candle here at 8 into a new previous. So I'm pretty sure you're sweeping out your 4-hour candle, your previous 4-hour candle on that. 6 to 10, or no, not, but you're closing, and then we see how that 4-hour close. So you're not sweeping that. I mean, you're sweeping this one, but that's not how I meant in my head. But yeah, just 1 and 4-hour rejection block close. So you don't need a sweep, and even if you're trying to trade it, say if you guys miss like inside of the wick here, it's a lot easier to just go lower time frame. See that you have that protected low, and once we almost see we have equal highs here, this is almost some of the hardest to catch when we don't distribute like this and we're just moving sideways and then we have no speed, right? That's why I like so well finding myself positioned inside of the rejection block, because no entry is like that, like very good. You'll see somebody probably take this where they zoom in a whole bunch, or on a 15-minute we zoom in and we see this internal to this FEG here. Now we're trying to take a long, here with maybe our stop below here with our previous down candle and getting stopped out, not seeing the higher time frame picture that's painted, and then us continuing, right? You're getting stopped out, stop at that low. Well, that makes sense. Internal, external should hold, but then it fails. That's all because of the higher time frame putting in that work, and then that structure being formed there, as well as the time into your closures. And you guys can't forget the obvious draws on liquidity, right? When we're forming equal highs, into highs like this, equal highs here, equal highs. We just have so many relative equal highs. And also, same thing for here, and why, Tuesday low of week into targeting these highs was so good. Now, I want you to tell you guys, just because this looks super, super solid, right? That's what I'm telling you guys. We're stuck kind of between a rock and a hard place. For months and months and months, we've been bullish, clear buy side model. And what you guys are going to see is that bearish, whatever, right? The bearish, if you want to call it a fucking order block, I don't care. Your previous up close candle, close and displays through it. FEG, order block, whatever the fuck you really want to call it, right? You see it push us lower, but you also see us get pushed higher here, and then with that internal SMT. And it just, got to take it one day at a time. With my higher time frame structure that I'm seeing, these lows do look prominent, but that kind of comes in with me talking about Mark with that long. These lows look really prominent. No real SMT at them, right? So, it'll just kind of be a thing of waiting. I do see how YM looks. So if we do just blast higher and continue higher, then it is what it is. Obviously, we know how to catch continuations. Just wait for a reaccumulation, remanipulation. Then we will find a distribution from there. Oh no. There's a couple people joined that I don't know. How are y'all doing? I don't know CI Tiger. Don't know Trader. How y'all doing? Radar. Bro's got the slime. That's great. You're friends with Aiden. Oh no, that's Kills. Damn, I haven't seen that in a long time. All right. But yeah, those are kind of trades. We took that one long. Wasn't a lot of intraday, and then that short as well. Lord. Bro doesn't even know how many accounts I. All right. How we deem as high. That comes in from daily, weekly profiles into session by session if then thinking. Kind of with like this Tuesday into the close, it's not really like closing perfectly to where you're like 100%, let me fucking full port that. But as you see how order flow reacts, right, we start seeing those bearish PD arrays fail. As we manipulate lower, start continuing and order flow is pushing us. We're seeing those bullish PD arrays start to hold. You see almost that flip in order flow, that change in order flow. So that goes in with your 15-minute closures to get a really this is one of the problems, to get a really high probability, 1 to 5 minute protected low that you're full porting. It's not, I mean, it doesn't show up very often, but in my eyes, right, when we are high time frame mimicking low time frame mimicking the high time frame exactly, I've showed y'all over the periods, we've had probably, 10 of those where you can zoom all the way down to the fucking 15-second and they all look the same. You're getting, on whatever time frame, you're getting on the 5 and 15-minute time frame. We're both, sweeping out the low. We're closing perfectly, sweeping out that previous down close candle. And it's right at the 4-hour open. Are we just closed on the 4-hour? That's why I like 2 and 3 a.m. so much. We have our if then thinking from the Asia session. Well, Asia session, whatever, accumulated. Then we have our 3 a.m. open, where we have so many of those. The 2 a.m. kind of chops around. We may sweep below, but then 3 comes in, it re-sweeps it. So we get our double, our single or double tap, and it just blasts higher from there. And I know, 1 in 5 minutes really the hardest. But if you're having trouble spotting them and you're entering trades and they're failing, well, that's when I would say go to the higher time frame, right? Inside of that same trade, did your 15, 30-minute low or high hold? Well, if it did, right, well then that's those spots where you're having to kind of fix, right? Where you're like, okay, I did this on the low time frame, but the high time frame was this. And it's that's why I stopped trading. That's why you've seen some of my stop losses about a lot larger. Is because I almost don't have the time to give. I don't not the time, but I don't have the almost the bother to, keep trying on the 1 minute. Get stopped out once or twice and keep trying to re-enter. I'm just gonna enter, make sure my stop loss is at an invalidation on a higher time frame. Make sure even if I break the new high, right, I'm still at like a 2R, all the small things that matters. Don't want to, yeah, I feel like I missed a point that I really wanted to say in there. But Yeah, even like I saw a lot of people. I think it was this PM. Yeah, no, not PM, but 10 a.m. There was like some people trying to long like this and this, um, and I mean, there's just certain reasons as to why I would or wouldn't. Obviously, see taking out this range low. We go to like a higher time frame, but with that daily close, we could use that as a rejection block, and then you look at like the 2 day, and kind of just looks like a wick, and then how I tell you guys, long wicks get filled to and through, and we're just gonna keep continuing to blast higher. Where we're at right now is just not a position where it's like, all right, I could deem a low time frame, protected higher, low safe. I'd want to, let us continue if we do continue going in higher. Um, on like the hourly, right? For us continuing to this low, this high being protected made sense, especially as that hourly closes 8 into 9. We close and use that wick and just, and then, obviously on a 5 minute, we're closing as well into a 15 minute, right? We get that rejection block on a 5 minute, and we're just keep getting pushed down by it, right? Holding, close on a 30 minute, and then we just fall. 30-minute rejection block. And even here, right? A lot of these end up looking like this, and this is like when I used to make those videos hating on IFVG, right? Because it's a 3 candle model, but every clean 3 candle model, whether it's the rejection block or where you have this candle that sweeps it out, right? We're usually gonna have an FEG here because we want an FEG with our manipulation, right? We want to manipulate these internal highs hard and smack our PD array even harder, right? To really manipulate. I mean, how if you think about it, like actually, like manipulation, you're gonna have to make it look real as fuck, right? So it looks like we're about to move higher from here, right? Accumulate, blast higher, close with an FEG. Whether it's the 3 candle model using the rejection block, I'll tell you guys, we're sweeping out that low, continuing higher, or we're sweeping out that low and then coming back one more time. Come back one more time and then delivering, right, with that double tap. However you want to look at it. Boom. And then we're continuing. And then you see us. This is how you predict a lot of those people that are waiting for that IFEG to close. Well, you have everything in your narrative to form that IFEG is already going to close. You're going to flip through it, right? And then you're entering on a low time frame, right? This one almost mimics. But as you can see, right, we get that. Wow. Get that second model in the low time frame, right? Where I told you guys we'll have that first tap into the second tap. But on a higher time frame, it's just that first tap with the. Oh wait, no, I'm retarded. My bad. I don't know what the fuck I'm smoking. Yeah, I'm smoking dick. I don't know why I left that there. Anyway. Sorry about that last part. I'm smoking dick on that. But yeah, low time frame, everything was kind of the same. So just ignore the last part I said. I'm fucking retarded. But yeah, either way, rejection block holds, kind of the same idea behind that. And then you see you delivering on a low time frame. I think that dude's not even in here. Why aren't you scaling heavier? That's what I'll skip that question because obviously I'm like, bro, I'm scaling on my own. I just don't fucking post all my accounts. Like I said, we're getting hard into September here. So what else are you gonna do? I'm a trader. I'm gonna post the account. Anyway, like we said, we're locked in for September, bro. I've never wanted to be more locked in a time period, especially moving out, bro. Just be able to record my shit, do my own shit, and like actually lock the fuck in. Peace of mind. It's not even like the fuck my house was that bad to begin with, bro. But it just got over time. Old people and folks, bro, killing me. Bro, storage is full. Bro, only like the first fucking part of the video is gonna have the damn thing. Huh? What? Yeah. Might swerve in that corner. Whoa. Alright, but yeah, let's see. Anybody got any more questions? See what we got. Captain 7C7. No trade this Asia. No, I've been busy. I was only first time I looked at the chart was when I hopped on this. Thanks, Poppy Chulo. Bro, Drizzy, how many times have you used the alpha code? That's actually what I was wondering. I really want, you said 3, but it only counted 2. Like actually 3? Like 3 for sure? Maybe 2. Okay, okay. See, that's what I was making sure. Yeah, no, I had 2 on there, but then you said 3, and I was like, what? I just wanted to make sure the code was working though. You're actually my first 2. You were the first 2 that used it, or first 2 accounts. But I just want to make sure it was working. I don't even care if anybody uses it. Because all the motherfuckers, they just go right back into giving out accounts. Bro, I think I looked back. I think I gave away like 20 accounts, like, from the last time I was doing this. Because we would just do the MMFU giveaways and fuck. I'd get like 10 people to, use it. It wouldn't be that crazy, but be able to get some, like 1 or 2 accounts back. Because bro, there's really no point farming like affiliate. It's like, well, unless you get like fucking huge, like Patrick Wineland, but the level I am, there's no point in like making $200 or $300 off affiliates. I'm gonna just give that right back to y'all. And who doesn't love giveaways? All right, but yeah, if y'all don't got any more questions, man, it's good to see you, Yokai. It's good to see Lobster, Alex as well. It's been a while. Khalil, I don't know who that is. Profile pictures new. That rejection block was from a news candle, and a news usually see price sweep that high. Now we're thinking. Mm-hmm. And all right, I would answer that, but let's see. I don't want to give you like almost a bad answer because of just being tired and fucking having a long day. But right, when I see that, it comes into the theory of, right, how hard have we manipulated? Because that's when, like, even like a year ago, that's when you would see me hop on the chart, take a loss, and be 1-1 on the day, because I would take that knowing that the rejection block is really high probability. Boom, we sweep it out again, but that's still the fucking high or low of the day. Like, I'm not gonna miss that just because I'm getting wicked out, on the low time frame. And I get, it's not necessarily getting wicked out on the low time frame because price would probably, most likely end up price would most likely end up sweeping out that high or low, if it was gonna do so on a 15 or 5 minute. And what I mean by that is, like, when you have like this candle that sweeps it out instead of like a rejection block. Like even like this, like, to me, this hourly that's not rejection block. Just like you'd see it reacts like it, but like to me, I absolutely hate this. You do see us form a range, right? And then wick down lower. But I see you're, almost thinking, right? And then we have that rejection block here. And then we sweep it out one more time and then continue higher. That's what I've literally always talked about. It was like literally a year ago where I would talk about us having 2 entries, right? Where it either sweeps the low and then continues higher, or it'll double tap. Jesus Christ. Or it'll double tap and then continue. Single tap here versus that double tap. And that also is why it's so important on your 15 and 30-minute closes. Because if you're sitting inside of an hourly close that looks obviously like a rejection block, then I would be more likely to take it. Also, with a 4-hour on top of that. And then I forgot to mention, news what we hit again. That's when I know exactly what you're talking about now. You're talking about like those high 830 newses where we end up, having that long wick. We come back inside the range. We kind of have that data high, data low. I see what you're saying there. Those, I'm only taking those if we have an SMT, to be honest with you, because that draw above that first high that's put in, I mean, I get what you're saying on the news. 'Cause I see what I kind of missed out the news part the first time you were saying it. But those big high volatility 830s, right? Where we, do put in that fat ass move. Let's zoom out on the chart. Sorry. Did we have one of those? Pretty sure it was. Yeah, was it this one? No, that was just open. Last week I don't think had any smashing 830 news, or am I retarded? I don't think we had any red folders. But we'll go to like a week before. Yeah. Right. 30-minute rejection block. But it's 830 news. Well, look what we did. 835. Swept out that first initial. And so inside of that 30-minute candle close, right, originally, right, because it's an 830, if we're looking like this, no SMT or nothing, I would, kind of be weary. But since 830 has viciously taken out previous day low, right, a higher time-based liquidity level into a previous down close candle. Well, now this just looks like an obvious accumulation manipulation into a distribution, right? Previous down close order block acting as a support higher. But right, that still doesn't help differentiate the low time frame if you're like not seeing, your 5-minute closes and or, an SMT in that, right? These look the exact same. So that's where it comes in. If this 830 candle like closed, like if this was the 830 candle, this included, I wouldn't take it, right? But with it being that 5-minute, us also sweeping out that previous day's liquidity into a previous day gap, that's like, where I would be like, okay, even though, we haven't double tapped, right, it makes sense for us to single tap. All the times where we do double tap, check the check the time frames above it and see where exactly we're sweeping on that, on that 30-minute, hour, 4 hour, whatever. Because, right, obviously I see you're like 830 news candle. Well, it's got liquidity below it on the 30-minute, even the 15-minute. Right, but that liquidity doesn't have to be taken. 15-minute closed inside a previous day low. All right, making sense. What the 5-minute do? Oh, well, it swept out that 830. Oh shit. So, well, there's no liquidity below the 830 because we just took it out, closed back inside. And now we're chopping, right? We're doing that single tap like we talked about. Oh, boom, boom. Oh shit, sorry. Doing the single tap, right? Where we just blast below the low. Maybe distort chop, right? No real need to go higher or lower, and then boom, just fly. And then even here, come right back into the order block. And then, have that previous day high draw. 1050. I don't really like that as a reversal. That holds, I'd be surprised. I can't remember how the day acted. We just broke it and then went back into the range. Cool. All right, whatever. But yeah, that's kind of like a walkthrough. Like, bro, it's not just like one or the other, right? But it's a combination of stacking confluences and those higher time frame candle closures and opens. And I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy to be right on that, and that's like I said, even a year ago, that's where you would see me take those losses, be 1-1 because I got swept out, but I don't care because I'm catching 5R, right? And that one loss is really well mitigated because at the same time I knew it could happen, so I'm risking less. It sweeps it out, closes back in. I'm like, fuck it. I know it's gonna bang now, So then that second entry, it's not a revenge trade, but it's like, oh, now, I'll admit it. I got swept out, but now that we're swept out, everything, like nothing on the high time frame has changed. Right? And that's even when you would see me kind of get break even sometimes. But that's why I quit the break even shit. Because if I'm taking a loss, I'll just take it on the chin. The difference, like just putting a larger stop and then not getting whipped out. But if you do take a loss, it's just a loss on the chin. I might swerve in the corner. Whoa, whoa. Hope that helped explain that a little bit. I know I kind of went off on different tangents. I didn't really go off on a tangent. It just took a lot of talking to explain that. Because it is not an easy thing to catch every single time. But when you got all your time frames stacking, well, it's going to be a little bit easier. And then obviously with our time, even a power of 3 cents, market maker model on that, then an SMT maybe thrown in there. Well, now we're getting some confluences that are stacking and, banging. Even here, right? Same type of thing. Swept out. 10 was still inside the range. But either way, new 4 hour, swept that out. Close back inside the range, right? 6 sweeps out 10, but closes back inside of the range, right? That's where you can kind of understand that rejection block-esque, and that's, continuing higher. See how you play inside of, FEG, previous up closure candle. Does it push it lower? Does it flip it, inverse it, keep continuing higher? And it's hard to specifically choose, like, I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, this is going to hold, or no, this is going to hold, because I know this is one of those less probability ones. Right, this first tap one, y'all saw me entered in that. Boom, runs, Even here, right, previous down closure candle. Fucking different top. And daily FEG, I mean, that one's not the best looking, but, we still found within, the lower time frame, a really decent entry. Yeah, sorry if I was a little rambly today. Fucking brains all over the place. It's hard moving in, bro. I haven't done this even last year or 2 years ago when I moved into that crib. Like, I feel like I didn't have to do that much, but it was just all straight me and her. So I feel like I was probably a lot more tired than I would have was the last time. Oh my God! Use code PTR at checkout on Alpha Future, guys. Just trolling. Uric. Bro, am I retarded? Uric Yoka. Yeah, Yoka. And then that's your he texted me I was like, why the fuck he texts me if he's in here? That's fucking not the same person. I just rather buy new shit. No, I mean like my desk and shit. I didn't really want to get new because I already have this. I mean everything was set up, and I didn't really want to change it. I just wanted to change the like location, the cleanliness, all that shit. So, but like the bed frame's new, couch is new. There's a lot of new shit, but I didn't want to drop like 10K on a new crib. Just trying to spend a little bread. Peter, you don't be taking Oshkas. Nah, I mean it's hard to take on a prop firm. If I do take it, it'll be like a thing where like I enter. Oh no, I haven't got there yet. It's kind of a thing like focusing real life and then focusing this. I do a lot real life too, with pops and around cars and shit, buying and selling those. So it's like a thing of like I probably should, bro. I don't know. It's a thing of just like I'm just being lazy. I'll just take it intraday and be like, all right, that's good. Cause it's still, still copy trading good amount of accounts and then just fucking, I mean, I don't know. Part of me doesn't like being in the trades all the time. Being that motherfucker all week just to get break even. I'd be pissed being that motherfucker all week just to lose 45% of my profit on Friday. I mean, that's something you have to know doing one shot, one kill is trading, being careful of Fridays. Very, very careful of Fridays. Friday could be the worst or best. Those Monday low of the weeks where that Friday just keeps continuing higher, keeps going, keep going. Bro, yeah. I haven't even, yeah. I haven't even thought about scaling in on it. Bro, my thing is if I got a bottom tick, I'm letting that bitch run. So scaling in, it pulls your position up, I'd be like, my heart would hurt. That probably need to fix that though. Oh, you know what? I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't even think we can use that firm in America. I could be retarded, but I think you're in America. Are you talking about MT5? I guess I've never used a Forex firm that isn't MT5. So, but yeah, I mean, obviously, like you're saying, you can get separate entries. So no matter what firm it is, it'll be separate. Just being a retard. Because I remember like MTX5 when or whatever, MT5 when I would use it. Yeah. Yeah, for y'all. I knew you weren't. Wait, for y'all. No, bro, for y'all. Yokai, am I retarded, bro? Let me look. Hold on. I think I am. It's all good. I'm trying to think of where you're from, but I don't say it, bro, because I swear I thought it was. I'm not gonna say it in the thing, bro. I swear you sent me a message talking about getting like where you were about to go one time. No, bro, no, I just sent a G so it would pull it up. I can't. It wouldn't let me hit the messages from what I was looking at. All right, but I'm about to end recording because I'm just kind of yapping.